something hit me one day. I just looked in the mirror and I was like, wait a minute, I have full agency. I can just like do something really dumb on my head. Like I can just make a joke all the time. And so I was trying to decide what I was going to do. Do I do like hot pink? Do I do this? Do I do that? And then I realized, wait a minute, whoa. What if I just say yes to all of it? And so the first color I did was Neapolitan ice cream. So we had the chocolate, the vanilla, and the strawberry stripes on my head. And the first time, once it was done, I went to a hair salon for that first color. And I looked in the mirror and I couldn't stop laughing. I truly got to express myself wholly from my core externally, which is I am a clown.
This is Priya Anand, and we are Spiraling. In this show, we talk to people about curly hair to learn more about our culture, from our personal identity to how the world sees us. I've said it before and I'll say it again. When we see curly hair on screen, it's often for a specific purpose. It's doing a job. Doc in Back to the Future, the wacky eccentric scientist, Miss Frizzle in the Magic School Bus. Michael Richards, the actor who played Kramer in Seinfeld, wrote in his memoir that NBC executives thought his hair, curly hair that stands right up, was a bit too much, and Richards told them, it's fine. This is a comedy. It's a trope. Curly hair becomes part of the joke. But to me, the reality is always more interesting. And this is my hot take. Curly people are funnier. Will Ferrell, Alana Glazer, Seth Rogen, Jenny Slate, Trevor Noah, I could go on forever. So I called 3 comedians to ask them if they agree that curly people are funnier and what role their hair plays in how they present themselves when most comedians are playing a version of themselves. Nemma Adeni is an actor, writer, comedian, and former tech engineer based in Los Angeles. I first discovered her comedy via TikTok.
My hair in general is a big part of who I am and how I present. It's a huge part of how people see you.
I have a hot take, and my hot take is that curly people are funnier. I don't know, as a comedian, what do you think about that?
Okay, I don't know if it's that they're funnier, but there's something just so playful about hair that bounces and does weird things and isn't where it's supposed to be. We've been sold this image of coiffed hair and what it looks like.
Oh yeah, I think it's a scam. In certain episodes of the show, we talk about how Hollywood ruins people's perceptions of what is reality in the first place, right?
Yeah.
And also this idea even of curly hair like not doing what it's supposed to. I'm like, who said that? Who said that?
Supposed to according to who?
Like hair moves. We're not all mannequins at Madame Tussauds. Like hair moves, bodies move. And if you expect something to be like stick straight in every single scene of a show, you will be meeting a wax figure in real life.
I will say, I think what the curly hair has helped me do, because so much of what I wear, what I put on helps me bring out different sides of my character. And I think that it does that for a lot of people. When my hair is curly, I feel so playful. It makes me feel like someone who flouts society's expectations and brings out a side of me that's a little more rebellious and a little more cheeky. So as an actor, that's super useful. I will often look at a character, look at sides that if I'm doing auditions or if I'm performing, and try and see how can I do my hair to bring out the personality that I'm looking for in this character. And personality is linked to a lot of base emotions. I feel like when I'm auditioning for comedic characters, it's kind of it's like when I'm auditioning for dramatic roles. I will approach it character first rather than genre first. Like, what is this character? Who are they? Do they care about their hair? Are they playful? Are they more like squares? If they're more squares, then I'm going to make sure that my hair reflects that. It reflects how they would want to do their hair and how they would want to present to people.
Nemma speaks more than a handful of languages in addition to English, and she does these hilarious videos about how some people don't speak the right language for their personality. We'll post it in our newsletter at wearespiraling.com because you need the subtitles for it. But she says that hair reminds her of language in that it can convey something about you or how you feel.
There's so many philosophies about this. Like, are you stepping into a character, or are you putting the character on, or are you bringing yourself to a character?
Method acting, yeah.
Exactly. Either way, you're playing someone who isn't fundamentally you. In comedy, yeah, there's a little bit of a veneer of character there, and I like having a little bit of that veneer because that's comedian Nemma and not just me in my private life Nemma, but that's still a very real version of me. So I think if I had straight hair, it would just feel different. It brings out a different side of me. It's kind of like language. When I speak different languages, it brings out different sides of me because of the structure of the language, because of how the language sounds and how it rolls off the tongue. So I think it's very similar with both hair, makeup, fashion, language, all of these things that present to the outside world. They are filters through which my thoughts go through. And as a comedian, I feel a lot more like myself and a lot more playful when my hair is in its natural curly state.
Comedians are often playing a version of themselves, a heightened version or an exaggerated version. Noah Grossman acutely knows what that's like. Noah has been an actor and comedian since he was 13 years old and grew up playing himself on the hit YouTube improv sketch show Smosh. At multiple points, Smosh was one of the most subscribed to YouTube channels, so Noah really has spent most of his formative years on screen performing for other people. He has long brown curly hair, and for much of his career, he's transformed his head after dyeing his hair pink, white, and brown so it would look like a Neapolitan ice cream.
Something hit me one day. I just looked in the mirror and I was like, wait a minute, I have full agency. I can just like do something really dumb on my head. Like I can just make a joke all the time. And so I was trying to decide what I was going to do. Do I do like hot pink? Do I do this? Do I do that? And then I realized, wait a minute, whoa. What if I just say yes to all of it? And so the first color I did was Neapolitan ice cream. So we had the chocolate, the vanilla, and the strawberry stripes on my head. And the first time, once it was done, I went to a hair salon for that first color. And I looked in the mirror and I couldn't stop laughing. I truly got to express myself wholly from my core externally, which is I am a clown. And I've done maybe 15, 16 different ridiculous hairstyles, ranging from Neapolitan hair to peacock to 70s dance floor to Skittles, everything in between.
Go back to the first time you went and asked a stylist to make your hair look like a Neapolitan cake or ice cream or something. What was the person's reaction?
So I remember the guy's name. He's like a kind of popular hairstylist, this guy Kyle David. And he is most well known for like giving that dope blonde look that just like is kind of like a Hollywood look. Like if you ever seen someone with just awesome blonde hair, he's the one giving it to him. But went in and I said, hey, I want a haircut, but also can you make my hair Neapolitan? And his first reaction was literally to just stop for a second and just like get on his knees, look me in the eyes and just like laugh, shake his head. He was like, okay, I've never had anyone in my life ask me to do this. I will do it. And I've done maybe 15, 16 different ridiculous hairstyles, ranging from Neapolitan hair to peacock to 70s dance floor to Skittles, everything in between.
You described, you did Neapolitan cake, peacock, 70s dance floor? Is that what you said?
So imagine almost like a rhombus light parallelogram shape, okay?
Okay.
All across my head. So probably maybe a total of like 68 different of these repeating shape all around, a little bit of a swirl.
Oh my God.
And we had, I think, 4 different bright jeweled colors. So I think we had like a bright green, a bright orange. We definitely had a red on there, a yellow, and maybe a blue. There might have been a 5th accent to it. But all of those just in a pattern around my head. And then we took it one step further when we did the Skittles, which is take that same shape, bring it down, much smaller diamond, instead of probably like 68, probably closer to like 150 individual shapes. And then on that one, we technically mixed like 13 individual colors, but it's probably like base 7 colors, and then from that, some tones built from those into it. That one took about 28 hours over 2 days.
Noah stopped going to salons after his first few dye jobs and his girlfriend took over, in case you're wondering how he managed to spend so much time in a salon. He says changing his hair isn't just a trick to him. Like, oh, this is the guy who always has the same outfit, almost like a costume. Because Noah grew up on the internet, making radical changes to his hair is both an act of exercising control over his own presence as someone whose public and private lives felt so intertwined, while also ceding control to his mood with spur-of-the-moment decisions.
I wasn't always comfortable in the beginning years of even having to be myself. I never played Noah Grossman. I was played a character. There was always something happening. And it wasn't necessarily like a deep, deep journey or struggle at the beginning. But as you kind of go on, it is strange to have your identity controlled is too strong a word, but presented not fully by you. I don't choose thumbnails. I don't choose content. I don't choose edit. I don't choose, which is fine. That's how it should be. But at the end of that, you end up realizing that you're a little bit lost yourself. Being on the internet is a little strange, and I'm using internet in like a general term, like an old person would, but influencer, online personality, online content in general, there's a weird situation where your personal identity, your professional career, your public identity, and your actual relationships, like public and private, are all in the same space. And sometimes it can be really, really good, and sometimes it can be an odd struggle. And so I wanted to ensure to myself that I had a direction. I think you need a perspective in order to present art that is worthy of consuming in some way. And in that journey, I want to be able to laugh at myself because what's happening to me is funny. And so when I wanted to make the choice to do something fun, it was to do it almost in improv roots, as spur of the moment, least amount of thought as possible, which is I woke up one day, I looked in the mirror, I laughed at thinking that I could change my hair color. Great, we're going to do that in 3 days. Awesome, I've got 3 days to figure out what ridiculous thing I'm going to do. And from there, then I could sit there and say, awesome, I've already put myself on this roller coaster. How do I make this funny and fun? Ice cream. So I turned my head into ice cream. And that allowed me to free myself. That's not something I think other people need to do.
If you could choose one curly hair icon, who would it be?
One curly hair icon.
Like, who is your curly hair icon?
I'll be honest, I don't like his hair, but you got to respect the curly hair icon, Weird Al. It makes me a little uncomfortable. It's like every curl is so perfect that it makes me uncomfortable. I feel like I'm looking at a willow tree, not a man. But you got to respect that.
If you could name your curls, what would you name them?
There's too many to name. I don't know. I'm going to name them after my cat's nickname. My hairstyle, it's Matilda Brown.
What is your cat's name, if that's your cat's
My cat's real name is Baby Bell, like the cheese, because she looks like a cow. But for some reason, Matilda Brown was just, one day she did something, and I said, Matilda Brown, get off the bed, and that was it.
My name is Molly Brenner, and I'm a comedian based in New York.
Molly's been in comedy for about a decade. I asked her, does she think being curly influenced her career choice?
Oh, wow. I have to ask my therapist. I mean, maybe, I guess, because it always made me feel like a little different in school, because it's like, yeah, like the 90s was like the era of like, straight hair. I think this was a TikTok I saw of a millennial being like kind of remembering how we all wanted the Chi hair straightener.
I do remember the Chi hair straightener. Are they still in business?
I have no idea.
My hair straightener, it was a cheap one. I think it was like $25. Like, why was I letting that iron touch my hair?
Yeah, you're like cooking your hair. Like
literally, you're cooking your hair.
Literally like panini pressing your hair over and over again. And yeah, would you ever like burn your head a little too?
Yes! Oh my God, your forehead. Yes, you try to get really close so you wouldn't have like the crimped look at the edge. And then you have a forehead burn.
Yeah. Yeah, every once in a while they'd be like, ow! I'm so glad those days are behind me.
Molly says that for comedians, your appearance is just as much a consideration as it is for an actor.
I think that as a comedian, like, you have to really establish your distinct voice. And increasingly, I think that comes with like having a distinct look too. It makes me feel funnier when I feel really like casual. Like when I'm able to get into this headspace, it's like we're all just like hanging out. I guess like for me, it feels like I'm like, this is what I look like. I want people to, know me this way and like associate it with my voice. So yeah, I feel like it's kind of connected to the like establishing, like you just you are your brand and like you're what you're trying to like sell people on and like have them buy tickets to. So like you don't want to be like looking different all the time.
Jenny Slate shared her experience with her naturally curly hair with Glamour in an As Told To in 2017. She said, "When I was young, I used to brush it out really big for laughs, but at a certain point, I started doing stuff to it so it didn't look like a joke." But then she realized, and I want to read her words again here, "I can't believe that I have only ever thought of my natural state as something to use as a joke rather than something to be celebrated. Forever, I had tried to tame the things that ended up being my greatest powers. That's the main thing I've probably learned in my adulthood. Myself in my most natural form is my secret weapon. I feel that many women are pushed to make themselves smaller and be the most minimal version of themselves. So I've been wearing my hair naturally curly, and now I'm starting to brush it out so it takes up as much physical space as possible, but this time, not as a joke." Michelle Wolf told Oprah.com something similar in an interview. "I do feel like my hair kind of goes with my personality," she said. "Bubbly, fiery, and fun." Molly says she feels the most like herself in her natural state as well.
I also think, I mean, first of all, straightening hair is a lot of effort and or a lot of money, and it makes me look like a fully different person. I mean, I don't know if you remember like how you looked or felt when you last straightened your hair, but it feels I'll get like one blowout every couple of years just to like, you know, feel something and just be like, you know, access like an alter ego, you know, but I feel like an alter ego. Like I truly feel like a different person for like, you know, I'll keep the blowout for a couple days. And like for those days, it's like, okay, I'm living another life.
Does it make you feel less funny?
Kinda. Yeah, actually.
Really? Tell me more.
Yeah. I think it just, because it makes me feel like such a different person. It like, yeah, it makes me feel like, I don't know how to describe it. Just like, yeah, it does make me feel a little less funny. I don't know if I've ever done a show with my hair straight, probably because I've just done it so rarely over the last several years. But yeah, no, my curls, you remember in Mean Girls and he's like, her hair is full of secrets? Like, my hair is like full of all my jokes.
What is your hair full of? Let me know. Email me at priya@wearespiraling.com. We Are Spiraling is produced by Citizens of Sound and hosted by my upcoming hair care line, Mayura. You can sign up for the waitlist at mayurabeauty.com. That's MAYURA beauty.com. If you're enjoying the show, please share us on social media. We're on Instagram and TikTok, and follow us in whatever podcast app you're using to listen. These things help other people find us too. Theme music by Lapgun. Talk to you next time.